I wasn't born here, but my body feels like it belongs to this country. When my mom was 7 months pregnant with me, she left Bolivia. But these mountains, their sounds, and the mythology of this country never left me. Every time I hear the name of this land, I want to come back. But this time, the spirit of this story was stronger, and my love for animals and this country merged into a single call. I was editing a video with this footage when I realized the country of my heart was part of the exact same problem. So I had to come back to Bolivia to learn, to discover, and fight for the spirit of our forest, the Jaguars.
Hi, Emi. I'm Romy Castagnino, Mongabay's Associate Digital Editor, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us. For the people who haven't seen your documentary, can you tell us a little bit of what Jaguar Spirit is about?
Yeah, so Jaguar Spirit, An Awakening Journey, as I call my film, is basically a personal journey, and it was inspired by the news that I got from editing a video in Costa Rica about the trafficking that was happening with jaguars in Suriname. And then after that, one of my colleagues in the office just said, well, this is also happening in Bolivia. And that just like spiraled this whole story. So I went to Bolivia together with World Animal Protection and also this local activist, Angela Nunez, who has been working to fight the jaguar trade in Bolivia since 2014 to understand what was happening and why Bolivia became the epicenter of the jaguar trade in Latin America.
Is the trade mainly domestic or also international?
The jaguars were being traded to Asia to be used in traditional medicine disguised as tigers, which is like something that it has been used for a lot of years in traditional Asian medicine. A bit before COVID, there haven't been seizures of jaguar body parts for the international market, which actually makes a lot of local activists think that it's not that the trade has gone, it's just that the traders have found other illegal ways to trade the goods to international countries. And then the other one is just like the growing internal market. And also there is a growing trend of local traditional medicine being made with wild animals in the country and being sold to cure different disease. I think that there are two things that are really concerning. One is how openly they sold all of this. I think that is even more concerning for me. No one is going to these markets and saying to people, you can't sell this. We received a video from an unknown source that was showing a prisoner in a prison, a governmental prison in Bolivia, creating these wallets and hats and saying that they were basically getting the skins of jaguars and they were processing all of that inside the Mongabay prison.
And from that, you can see how deeply rooted is the trade in the society, And one thing that I loved about the film is that you showed a workshop you conducted with the community members to understand the relationship with jaguars. One thing that came up over and over again from the community members is how scared they are from these cats. Why do you think is that?
So that's really interesting because I think that there are two things that I noticed on that workshop. One, because the jaguar is being called tiger in the local communities. When kids go into their phones, go into Google and they Google tiger, all they see is crazy stories about, how big of an animal they are, and like they are predators, of course, and so they're rightly scared of the animals. But I also think that some of these local communities are not entirely aware of so many of the biology of this animal. For example, if jaguars kill a prey, they will keep that prey for several days to feed on that same prey. They won't attack people. They usually try to stay away from humans because they know we are a bigger threat than them. So just explaining all of those things to them, I think that that created such a beautiful conversation at the end of like, whoa, we actually need to start protecting these animals. But then they don't realize that this isn't common to anyone else, that they need to start protecting the animals. And they also started to have a conversation of why are we so scared if we, like at the beginning of our indigenous communities, they used to be revered as gods.
And how important it is to work with local communities to combat the jaguar, the illegal jaguar trade.
Yeah, it is very important. Actually, also one of the other reasons why I decided to start this documentary was because most of the information I was finding was in English and not in Spanish. And then I was there thinking, like, how can we as Latin Americans fight for the animal that is from our land to protect it when we don't know what is happening? So the documentary is in English and in Spanish.
What do you want people to take away from your film?
I feel that, one of the main things that I want is for Latin Americans to start showing this film to others. And I think that the more we spread the word in Spanish, the more of us will be able to join forces and do something to stop the trade. After I released the film, I have received so many messages from biologists, other investigators, and even people in different countries in Latin America saying that this is happening in their country already. And I would love to think that the more of us Latin Americans know about this topic and the more we can make our authorities aware how concerned we are about it, maybe we can start making them aware, and maybe we can start working together to stop the trade.
And where can people find your film?
So the film is in World Animal Protection's YouTube account. Is completely free. Everyone can watch it. You can also find it in Protección Animal Mundial or World Animal Protection Latin America in Spanish.
Thank you very much, Emi. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you so much, Romy, and thank you so much, Mongabay, for helping us just to spread the word.